Hi, I'm Jasmine Nicole. Welcome to the Motivational Mystic, a space for authentic, higher conscious conversations to motivate, inspire, and empower. Thanks for listening. Each week, I'll drop a new conscious raising episode. Let's dive in. Curate your own life experience. Don't allow other people's opinions or judgments of you to get in your head, where you're allowing them to manipulate your life choices, where you feel the need to alter yourself, alter how you show up for yourself to gain the external approval of others. As high vibrational people, we are certainly not going to allow that to happen. We want to curate our life experience and not just let life happen to us. By curate, I mean you want to embody main character energy in your life story. You're not a sidekick in your life journey. You're a main character. As a main character in your life story, you don't want anyone telling you how to act, what to do, where to go, or what you can achieve. In order to curate your life journey, your life experience, you have to have a disciplined mind, laser focus, and let's be honest, tough skin. That's going to require you to ignore a lot of BS. A lot of bull. There will be a lot of external distractions pulling at you, trying to alter your focus and distract you from your calling. From a societal standpoint, in America, and I'm sure many other countries as well, are essentially just a capitalism matrix. People wake up every day and they go to a job that they hate. And boy, can I relate to that because I've been there before. People wake up every day and they go to a job they hate. But they do it. Why? Because you need to make money. You need to provide for yourself. Maybe you have responsibilities or a family, so you trade in your goals, desires, and free time to do what you need to do to get by. And you find yourself in a place where you're just trying to survive, but you're not really thriving. So when you curate your reality, you curate your life experience, you put yourself in a position to thrive, not just survive. If you really want to achieve a certain goal and want to thrive rather than just trying to survive, make sure you lock in on achieving that goal and become so laser focused on achieving that goal that nothing or no one will get in your way. Because let's be realistic. In life, there are detours, distractions, and obligations you will encounter. Also, as an adult, you have to be able to provide for yourself. And in this country, the world actually, that takes money, that takes dinero, that takes currency. Obviously, no one can be lazy or lackluster and think they're going to get anywhere. So you have to be able to provide for yourself and put forth the effort to do it. The ways in which we give into the capitalism matrix to provide for ourselves is typically by getting a job that has a boss, that has rules, be on someone else's clock, someone else's dependency as a method of providing for yourself to survive. Even if you think back to the time when you were a child and going to school, the focus in school was to teach you how to be a good worker bee, not a boss, how to memorize and retain information, and then be able to regurgitate and recite that information to other people, and not to question things. They didn't really teach you critical thinking skills or how to think outside of the box. When you were a child, your teacher did ask you what it was that you wanted to be when you grew up. I'm sure we were all asked that as children from someone in our life at some point. How many of us actually ended up becoming that thing when we got older? Dreams and goals do change over time, of course. But how many of us really pursued our dreams and accomplished them when we grew up? Or did you get distracted? Did you get sidelined? Did you have to put your dreams on hold because life responsibilities got in the way? There will be external distractions and detours you will encounter on your life journey, a whole plethora of things. But the main thing I'm trying to drive home and ask is, how many of us really had the courage to stick to becoming what we aspired to be when we were younger? We can get pulled in so many directions in life that it's easy to just get lost in going through the motions of mundane life responsibilities. You're not creating the life you want. You're just reacting to what life throws at you. You're not being a co-creator in life with the universe. You're just letting life happen to you and reacting to it. If you're in a constant state of reacting to life, when do you have time to pursue what you really want? You have to be intentional to be able to curate your life experience. I mentioned in a previous episode that you have a right to pour into yourself, to aspire, to dream, to excel. And that requires having discipline and taking the time to do those things so you can manifest the things you want in life, so you can achieve your goals and make your dreams a reality. That takes focus. You have to have laser focus and make intentional and smart decisions. Co-create with life. Do not let it just happen to you. Respond to it. Participate in it. I think I mentioned in the last episode as well. Be an active participant in life. There are a lot of distractions that will pop up along the way. You have to be prepared for them. Whether that's in the form of people or obstacles getting in your way, things are going to pop up. Things outside of your control are going to happen. That's life. No one's life is easy street, but being able to adapt and still focus on achieving what it is that will make you happy is important. Achieving your dreams, your goals, and not losing sight of that. Honestly, in my experience, I've noticed the difference between very successful people who are thriving and the average Joe or Jane that's just out here surviving is one thing. A lot of rich people that I've met, some are very intelligent, of course, some not so much, but they all had this one thing in common, and that was they had that laser focus, that drive that could not be broken. If you work at something long enough, you learn to perfect it. You can tweak it, you can adjust it along the way, but eventually you master it. And all of that time, dedication, and energy doesn't go to waste. It will pay off. That's physics. The law of conservation of energy, to be exact. All of that energy has to go somewhere. Your efforts are not going to be in vain. Your hard work will pay off. Therefore, it's important to be disciplined, to not be so easily distracted by temptation or trying to fit in or your own self-doubt. These little things that can creep in and that are a part of everyday life that try to distract you and knock you off your path. Things like I mentioned earlier, like other people's opinions, and most importantly, fear. I think fear is a big one. Fear is a big psychological and emotional obstacle that everyone experiences. But if you want to be a co-creator and curate your life experience, you have to accept that it comes with the territory and be aware when it creeps in so it doesn't consume you. You are one of many avatars in this game of life. There's many other different players. Don't let other players in the game distract you. Focus on what it is that you want. Of course, you will want to curate your life so that it includes community. It's important to have community, love, friendships, but you want to make sure those people are either giving you peace, fulfillment, or progressing you, and not acting as an anchor and weighing you down. We all need a place of solace, a place of happiness, love, camaraderie, outside of our everyday obligations and responsibilities. So when you want to curate your life and curate your inner circle, just make sure you keep those principles in mind. Are these people going to help you progress in life, or at least give you enjoyment, comfort, love, or peace when you are curating your inner circle? Everyone is operating at different vibrations and comprehending things at different frequencies. When you're curating your inner circle, you want to make sure you're intentional about how those people align with your frequency, with your vibration. You definitely don't want to have people in your inner circle that you have to watch your back around or look over your shoulder, right? Everyone wants love, companionship, camaraderie, laughter, fulfillment, and peace. So when you're curating your life experience and focusing on thriving over surviving, just be conscious enough to evaluate whose energy, whose frequency meshes with yours, and those people who don't. Everyone has natural instincts and the ability to use discernment. So evaluating who's a good fit for your inner circle and who is not will be different for everyone. But nonetheless, when you want to thrive and curate your life rather than just letting life happen to you and being in a constant reactionary state of survival, you want to have people around you that are not going to be a hindrance. I've been echoing this sentiment for a couple of episodes now, but it's true. Everyone cannot go with you. Everyone can't go along for the ride on your life journey. That's kind of a reoccurring theme that keeps popping up for me personally, that I'm continuing on into 2026. We meet people, we have interactions and relationships throughout the course of our lives. These people may only be there for a season and may not be meant to be around us for the full duration of our life journey. So, we want to be very aware of not letting outdated relationships and relationships that have run their course to be a hindrance to the point that it turns into a distraction that you just want to avoid. When you are intentional about how you want your life to unfold, what you want to experience and achieve, you can't let people, places, and things get in your way and try to distract you. It's vital to keep your laser sharp focus, remain disciplined, and focus on your own life journey and not be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. Get out of the comfort zone and follow the path less traveled to get out of conformity. Focus on self-love, progressing, and prosperity. And most importantly, be brave enough to answer your calling. When you step outside of that comfort zone, that's when the magic happens. You're not limited by your fears, that hesitation of the unknown, right? You're stepping in to a new chapter. You're an artist, just with a blank canvas. What is it that you want to create? What is it that you want to experience in your life? What life circumstances, opportunities, people, experience do you want to curate so that it becomes a part of your life story? But with that, you have to maintain focus on making that ideology a reality. And that's the hard part, right? Because people get easily distracted with life, relationships, family obligations, work obligations. I'm not saying that curating your life is something that is easy, but it's not impossible. It's just making intentional, smart choices to not get caught up or trapped in a lot of the distractions that life will throw your way. Ultimately, even with obligations and responsibilities you may have, it doesn't mean you still cannot pursue and achieve your goals. You might just take longer to do so. There's just an alternative timeline you have now taken in order to get to that highest achievement that you want to attain. It will just come with additional lessons along the way. But as someone who maintains discipline and focus, if you are aware that these, I don't want to call them traps, but sometimes it can be. It's a trap to capture your focus, capture your intent, shake your discipline. Like sometimes there are certain scenarios that can knock you off your path where you now kind of just make it harder to attain what it is that you initially set out to do. Again, not that it's impossible, but it just comes with additional lessons and obstacles along the way. But as long as you just keep focused on what it is that you want, the lifestyle you want to live, the things you want to achieve, the things you want to acquire, attain, the people you want in your life, it is possible as long as you keep moving forward, moving towards focusing on accomplishing those goals, on accomplishing living the ultimate life you want to live. So, we all have that inner calling. We all have that inner calling of, what we want to do, who we want to be, the lifestyle we want to live. Don't lose track of that. Don't become disconnected from that. Maintain your focus and be brave enough, again, to answer your calling. Well, that's all I had for today, everyone. Until next time, goodbye.